it's Tania Gabrielle, Wealth Astro-Numerologist. Welcome to Star Codes. This is the forecast where we look at an astrology numerology event that's coming up. And in this case, it's the Sagittarius full moon. And of course, Sagittarius is such a wonderful sign of expansion and joy and fortunate outcomes and trust and faith. And so today we're going to dive into that extraordinary full moon, which this year makes amazing transits and has a fantastic numerology code as well. So it is exact on June 14th at 12:52 p.m. Universal Time. That's in Greenwich, England. And that would be 7:52 a.m. New York Eastern Time and 4:52 a.m. Pacific LA Time. Now, Sagittarius is always on a quest for truth. And so it gets there by going out on an adventure, getting out of your comfort zone, expanding your horizons. And because the 21st century, the number 21, is aligned with truth and actually means the truth shall set you free, this full moon is very important. And another reason is that it happens at 23 degrees in Sagittarius for the moon, 23 degrees in Gemini for the sun. Now, 23 is the royal star of the lion number, the strongest number in numerology. And 23 reduces to 5, which is the number of taking a risk and adventure, which is how Sagittarius expands, how Sagittarius is infused with joy through that adventurous spirit and that expansion. So the full moon happens at 23 degrees, sun and moon, and then it happens on June 14th. And both 23, 2 plus 3, and 14, 1 plus 4, add up to the single digit 5. So why is 5 important in this regard? Well, 5 represents freedom. 5 is the number of adventure. 5 allows us to discover our origins by taking a risk and allowing change to infuse our day so that we are always in the flow. 5 sits on a rocker. It faces left and right. It is open to everything, and it epitomizes just exploration and seeking something beyond your current awareness. So going out and exploring and taking a risk. So we have this optimism and faith through Sagittarius. We have this wonderful 5 exploration energy. We have positive expectations. We feel the positivity, and that results in, of course, positive outcomes. So you're actively seeking solutions, and that is catapulting you forwards toward successful outcomes. Now, this 555 code, anything that comes in a triplicate, means that it is very potent. So be aware there is this quickness, this quickening of energy with this Sagittarius full moon. Now, the sun and moon create a T-square to Neptune. That means the moon squares Neptune on one side and the sun squares Neptune on the other side. And T-squares are very dynamic because they put you into action. So a T-square with Neptune makes you feel more sensitive and you question reality more. You want answers, but you're also in this dreamlike state which can open the veil or put a veil over. So the dream itself is an emotional perception that's extremely activated, very, very strong. So you want to also focus on staying grounded and tuning into the Neptune energy through beauty and art and anything that soothes your nerves in any way, mystical experiences, Reiki, meditation, massage, sleep in, take that extra time to rest. Now, also your inspiration is really heightened with this square to the moon and the sun. So you want to focus on what is inspiring to you, what is coming through. Because if you don't pay attention to your creativity and your imagination, you may get out of sync, or you may feel energetically depleted because it is the creativity and the imagination that are truly heightened and want to be part of your life at this time. Now, fortunately, to help you with manifestation is that the moon is sextile Saturn and the sun is trine Saturn, and Saturn is the manifesting planet. It is all about self-control and taking life seriously and getting down to the nuts and bolts of the matter. And so this full moon also encourages you to take some alone time so that you can commit and know what you want to commit to and share that practical encouragement with others as well. So there's a real nourishing energy here regarding the responsibilities that you have, but they come as a result of you having a spiritual download and wanting to make it real and have a long-term impact. Other transits are that the Mars conjuncts Chiron. This transit is exact, this conjunction between Mars and Chiron. It's happening in Aries, Mars's home sign, and that gives you tremendous courage. You feel like you can accomplish anything, and so you feel the capacity to direct energy with a lot of conviction, with a lot of confidence, and just feel that sacred warrior energy in your life. Mercury's trine to Pluto, and Mercury is important in this regard because Mercury is the co-ruler of this full moon. Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, where the sun is opposite the moon in Sagittarius. So we have two Mercury transits. The trine to Pluto really infuses you with a lot of ability to transform, to feel the impact that you have, to feel the recognition, and to really take hold of that you are in charge of your life. Pluto is the planet of empowerment, and Mercury is, well, how do I use words? How do I communicate? Is it in an empowering way? Is it actually helping people feel more courageous, and myself as well? Or am I using these amazing psychic abilities that are activated during this sextile or trine to Mercury to put people down? So this is something to really look at, and how you use power and influence, because you can make incredibly empowering discoveries now and change your life in a really amazing way. Now, Mercury, co-ruler of the full moon, is also sextile to Jupiter, which is absolutely lovely because Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. So we have both rulers of each sign creating a very harmonious aspect to each other. What more can you ask for? And it makes this full moon especially optimistic. Of course, Jupiter is the planet of optimism. And so in connection with Mercury, it means that your ideas are just flowing. There's a wealth of them. Optimism is enhanced, especially with how you communicate and the message you share. What you feel and see lies ahead just is very expansive, very exciting. You're focusing actually on planning your future more. You're very enthusiastic. You express yourself with a lot of joy, and your focus and concentration are also enhanced. So there is just a lot of really good energy with this full moon. And that Mars conjunction with Chiron is fantastic as well, because it gives you the drive and the energy to actually take advantage of all the goodness in the full moon. Now, Sagittarius does govern wisdom, higher education, religion, philosophy, and beliefs. And beliefs are really important in our society. They are a cornerstone of how we live. The freedom to believe as you wish is part of a healthy society, as long as those beliefs don't result in harming others. In other words, your freedom to believe anything must be completely extended to everyone else, as long as their beliefs are supporting the benefit of everyone in this society. So you're free to believe anything. You're free to believe lies, as long as those lies don't harm others. So that is really the key. Many other sectors of society are full of beliefs that don't serve you or me or society well. For example, mainstream science still believes and continues to spread this message that life arose by chance, for no reason, with no purpose, And even though the statistical chance of that happening is practically nil, it's really beyond the bounds of possibility, that belief still exists, that everything is chance. So that negates the fact that everything in life, even what seems to be dead matter, is not filled with a purpose. But modern physics has definitely shown that everything is in constant motion at all times. Just like the fire in Sagittarius, fire spreads, it's always moving. Everything is always in constant motion, even if it seems like it is dead, materially. So dead matter is still alive, and science doesn't give an answer as to how everything is in a state of movement and motion, and why it would not be having a purpose for being here. So the truth is that everything exists, is eternally connected to each other. So there is an infinite field of energy, and that energy comes from love, it comes from source, and we are all one with it. So we appreciate every part of that source energy. Now, Sagittarius wants us to move from this hoping things will work out, or hoping somebody is right when they say something, or hoping our dreams come true. So Sagittarius wants us to move from that hope to trust. Because once you trust, you have no need to worry about what might happen, which is what hope is. So be aware during your daily life around this full moon in Sagittarius of hoping for something, including hoping for approval, which is a very basic instinct. So most of the time we don't do this consciously, but when we complete a task, whether it's mental or physical, we often have an underlying hope that somebody will notice and appreciate us in terms of what we've achieved. And in reality, we always feel at one with spirit, so we always know that we're infinitely loved and infinitely appreciated, and that means we can extend that infinite love and appreciation to ourselves and don't need to hope that it is externally reciprocated or activated in order to fulfill a need that really has no reason for being there, because we are completely aligned with spirit at all times, and spirit already knows and infinitely loves us. So our natural unchangeable state is not to hope something will happen, but to have faith that the perfect situation will arise in the perfect time, and to trust in that benevolence of the universe. And this is really the key to Sagittarius. So recall the synchronistic events in your life where you felt lucky, where something just by coincidence made everything so exciting and relieved a challenging situation. And these synchronistic events will always be with you, and they remind you to trust in the goodness of life and to let go of needing to be directing the energy always towards a specific, very specific goal that you may have concocted in your mind, as opposed to directing it towards a frequency, meaning a feeling that you want to experience, a feeling of abundance, for example, a feeling of peace, a feeling of contentment, a feeling of joy. Those are frequencies. They're not specific goals that we concoct in our mind based on our past. So they don't allow us to trust that the universe will bring what is exactly appropriate in that moment for us based on where we are in our state of being. So it's a really fantastic time to clear that out, right? To know that every thought that comes into your mind is actually a belief or based on a set of beliefs, and every desire is based on a belief that you need something for whatever reason. And without that belief that you need it, you wouldn't have a reason to go and desire it and seek it out. So what about if we exchange belief with inspiration, natural inspiration? Just doing something for the sake of doing it because it arises within you, not because you believe you should do it, which again, that can be very unconscious. So you have to be very aware and observe. But doing something for the sake of doing it, because it arises within you and prompts you to move forward, that's being in a state of flow, a state of enlightenment. Because you're not saying I'm discarding my beliefs, you're saying I'm aware of them, I'm gaining more discernment about them, I'm distinguishing between the ones that serve me and others and the ones that do not. So then you're set free and you literally tune into what arises naturally as a result of you being in the flow. The thing is, most people don't want to examine their beliefs, or even if they do, they don't do it in an in-depth way in order to discover which ones actually hold truth and which ones are unhelpful. And so we need to really now, with this Sagittarius full moon, be aware of how we respond to situations, because the beliefs we hold in response to anything are what determines how we experience, how we feel about the situation. Beliefs determine the nature of the experience that we have, and it actually can also determine the situation itself. That's why having a frequency like joy and love and peace and abundance and contentment, and whichever you choose instead of the actual belief, is always much more freeing and open-ended and creative. So again, what you believe has everything to do with how you feel and how you respond to life and others, and as a consequence, how life and others respond to you. So we are here to learn to be happy and at peace with the circumstances that life brings us. And that is really the challenge. So Sagittarius, governing higher education, reminds us that life is a school. So we are students at all times in this school, and life is purposeful. It's designed and guided by loving forces. And so your life is purposeful. Your life is divinely guided, trusting in that, even though you, in your thoughts, may not know what that is. An inner knowing arises from you that you are always supported. And also to just embrace that you are a unique expression of the divine. So there is a divine intelligence behind life. There is a wisdom behind life. And this divine intelligence is benevolent. So asking for a benevolent outcome is something you can do with your guides for anything. And that is putting you in the flow. That's something that you can do many times over the day. Feel the blessings, trust in the blessings, appreciate everything, be in direct communication with spirit. Because God, your guides, source, loving forces, they're all available to you and anyone at any time of the day. So that's really the big message for this Sagittarius full moon, is looking at the nature of your beliefs and trusting in the goodness of life and being there in a way that feels light and enlightened and delightful. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Jupiter loves joy. Jupiter is the planet that instills the importance of joy in your life. So smiling at others, smiling at the world, having that inner smile is so helpful when we are grappling with all these external crazy stimuli that are surrounding our lives, and that we of course can turn off at any time, but have to have the discipline to do that. So the discipline itself arises from the smile. So does it make me smile? Does it make me happy? Does it uplift me? That is really the question with whatever stimuli comes your way. So have a beautiful Sagittarius full moon, and remember your own star code as well. That brings a lot of joy just to understand what that is. And I have a free masterclass for you that describes your birthday, your birth certificate name, your astrology birth chart, the degree numbers in it, It includes a handout, and you can access that at starcodeclass.com. It also helps you to understand the people in your life, which is a big blessing, because then judgment ends, right? Because understanding brings compassion. So you can basically connect with the purpose and destiny of people in your life as well, and understand what their shadow side is. And it's just amazing when we accept others for who they are and give them that compassion that we would like extended to us as well. So enjoy that free masterclass at starcodeclass.com. Have a beautiful week, a wonderful full moon, and I'll see you in next week's Star Codes podcast. Lots of love.